So this is a project initiation, and the question is, how does an organisation achieve its 5-year strategic goals or its strategic plan? And I suppose a good question here would be, does the organisation have a 5-year strategic plan? We looked in previous slides when we're setting project objectives that it's really important to link your project to the company's strategic goals. But the answer to this question, how does an organisation achieve its 5-year strategic plan, is quite simple. It runs projects. So an organisation will achieve its strategic objectives by running projects, portfolios, or programs. So the large areas of work could be called a program, could involve 3, 4, 10 different projects. Delivering the wrong projects or failing to deliver projects is going to prevent the organisation reaching its strategic goals. So it's really important that we stop the projects that aren't succeeding, that we select the right projects, and we accept that not all projects will succeed. So project initiation. The definition of project initiation is committing the organisation to the next phase of the project. This project is going to consume money, it's going to consume resources. Once we've assigned resources to a project, they cannot be working on a separate project. So commit them to the wrong project, one that's not going to help the company achieve its goals, would be a grave error. So we need to initiate the project, get it approved, make it an official project within the company. So it's important that we select the right projects. It's important that the projects don't all fail, but I want to make it clear that the failure of some projects is a good thing as long as they're stopped before they're a real disaster to the company. For instance, we might try and introduce a new technology and decide that it doesn't work, or it's not for us, or that it's superseded by an even later technology. So the organisation has to understand the project, understand the risks in the project to be able to make these decisions. The organisation has to support the projects. So in project initiation, this is how we do it. We get the stakeholders together. Identify the reason for the project. Why are we doing this? We covered this a little bit in lecture 2. Why are we doing this project? What is the problem we're trying to solve? We're trying to identify the business benefits, the key performance indicators, the critical success factors, the reasons that this is going to make the company some money. Get the stakeholders, and we'll be looking at stakeholders in a separate video clip. Get the stakeholders to identify the objectives for the project, to help identify the risks. The project manager by themselves might not be able to do this. The stakeholders will have a clearer understanding of the objectives and the risks. We need to communicate. We talked about that in a previous video clip. We need to communicate with the participants of the project, those people who are affected by the project. And in the initiation phase, we need a high-level plan. Something that's going to say this is an 18-month project, these are the key phases, this is roughly what's going to happen. And we need to get this approved by the senior managers. Now this, of course, is the project specification that we talked about at the end of lecture 2 in video 2. And of course that could be called a project charter, a project brief, a project execution plan, a project initiation document, a project management plan, whatever you call it. It is a collection of everything we know about the project. And the reason for talking about it again is we need to initiate the project formally using this document. So before project initiation, people are saying, well, what is this project? Why are we doing it? What's the purpose of it? Who's involved in it? Does everybody know about this project? And in this situation, nobody can support the project because it's not being communicated properly. Once we've created our high-level plan, our clear vision, linked the project to the business objectives, identified the business case, identified the key risks and the main stakeholders, then we should have clear project aims and objectives. And it could well be that some projects have been rejected to get to this stage. So we can use that project charter, that project specification, to communicate to everybody involved in the project and make sure the project is supported by those who need its support. So here's an example. Instead of just saying the project's about installing a new machine, we actually state why we're doing the project and what we're doing. So why are we doing the project? In order to help the company achieve its strategic aims to remove all manual machines by a certain date. That's why we're doing the project. And what it seeks to do, it seeks to install a computer-controlled lathe to replace the existing machines. And then we need to get some clear objectives for the project. Within 6 months of the project, we will have installed and tested out a new CNC lathe. We will have trained some operators and some maintenance staff in looking after this lathe. And these, of course, are SMART objectives that we talked about in Lecture 2. So this should help us get the project initiation successfully through senior management support because the project helps the company meet its strategic aims.